Welcome to Trippy Commentaries and our SummerSlam recap. This was an epic SummerSlam. Man, they gave a whole new definition to the word SummerSlam after this one. Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. They'll be talking about this matchup for a long time, and we're here to break down everything for you. There's a lot to get to before we even can make it to that main event, but it's worth the wait, guys. Believe me. I'm RJ, joined by Retro Brett.
Yo.
C-Dub, what's going on, Corey?
Not much. I was definitely feeling it tonight. SummerSlam was the hottest event, perhaps, of the year. Definitely since WrestleMania. We have a ton of awesome matches to get into here tonight, guys. Yeah,
man, this event was so epic. We had to bring Matt to cover it as well. What'd you think about this year's SummerSlam, Matt?
I've been watching SummerSlams for a very long time, and I gotta say, this one was epic. I can't wait to talk about this with you guys.
Let's jump right in. This was crazy. Hulk Hogan did start it off. It was a bit of a promo. Corey, do you have anything to say about how the night started off, of course, leading up to the Intercontinental Championship matchup?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to see the Hulkster. He, of course, was there in '88 for the very first SummerSlam. It's always good to see the Hulkster, but I hate to kind of worry if Hogan isn't being turned into a giant red and yellow mascot for the WWE Network and the $9.99 meme.
Yeah, we're worried about that here at Trippy Commentaries, so we'll see what becomes of that. But we did have a championship matchup here. Dolph Ziggler, a guy we're behind here at Trippy Comms. We were happy to see him with a title shot. I was worried that he couldn't get it done against The Miz and they were going to keep it on The Miz, but that wasn't the case. Dolph Ziggler won it. Corey, this is awesome.
Yeah, it was a hell of a match. There was a lot of great transitions, a lot of great action in there. Ziggler, of course, one of the hardest working guys in the company. Before the match, we heard The Miz come out and run his mouth a little bit, say that he's going to take out Ziggler, no problem, and took a little bit of cheap heat toward the LA Lakers. But in the end, Miz goes for the big boot to the face. Ziggler hits the zigzag for the 3 count, and we have a brand new Intercontinental Champion for the second time to show off Dolph Ziggler.
What'd you think about the match, Retro Brett?
Well, I thought it was a really good opening match to have a title match right off the bat, and I'm extremely happy to be wrong in this account. I picked
me too.
The Miz to retain, but I was going for Dolph Ziggler. I think we all are. He's definitely a very hard worker, and he's very over with the crowd, and I just don't think that they're doing much with him. So
one thing I do disagree with you on is I didn't like how The Miz was the first person out of the gate. I wish it would have been someone more...
it's kind of a buzzkill.
Yeah, more of a big deal, like the Usos a lot of times are. I think they have, of course, a great intro.
I gotta say,
nonetheless,
I don't know, dude. I disagree with you. I really liked The Miz.
You liked him, the first guy out the door?
Yeah, because I really didn't think there was anybody else at that point in time. Like I said earlier, who else is going to do it? Alberto Del Rio, like Fandango, those guys.
Not going to be Alberto Del Rio.
Like, Miz can draw a certain amount of heat, and it's about time. Dolph Ziggler has been getting over with the crowd recently. Like, he deserves this, so congrats to him. Man.
We should point out that The Miz actually hosted SummerSlam last year. Comes back this year, starts it off kind of like he did last year in a different role, of course. Loses the title to Dolph Ziggler. We'll see what that means for Dolph. Of course, probably coming up tomorrow night on Raw. I'm sure they'll put him right back in the ring. We did have a little Brie Bella speech, a little bit of hype going on for that matchup. That was certainly interesting. A lot happened there. But it did, of course, go right into Paige versus AJ Lee. We all kind of expected AJ Lee to take this, but Paige actually claimed the Divas Championship. Matt, what do you think about the Divas title? I guess we'll just brush over this one.
I thought that AJ was going to take it, and I got this one wrong, I got to say. Paige looks good out there, though. She's hitting her moves pretty good, and
hopefully they improve her character.
So I think so, too. I think both of the characters need to be improved a little bit, but yeah.
I was liking Paige's new ring attire instead of that black and purple. But
yeah, definitely looks pretty hot.
I think it was a great match, especially when Paige hit that monster DDT.
Yeah, very nice.
That was really impressive.
Nice move by Paige, getting back into the championship role there. Corey, I know you're an avid fan of the Divas. Not really. Do you have anything to add to this one?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a respectable effort from both of the ladies. All three of us were completely incorrect in our SummerSlam predictions. We all had AJ retaining the title here. I've heard some rumblings, guys, that AJ could possibly be on her way out of the company.
No.
We'll certainly stay tuned with that and bring you any updates we have on that.
Oh, no.
Going with CM Punk?
Yeah, no, going the way of CM Punk. Of course, all four of us were wrong, Raspo. I know you said that you thought that Paige was going to lose as well, and AJ would win, and Paige is the victor. Rusev versus Jack Swagger. This was a pretty cool matchup. I got to say, we saw a nice ninja kick from Rusev. A nice show of athleticism there. Corey, I thought this was supposed to be a flag match. I really didn't get the flag match component of it. What was up with that?
Yeah, traditionally the flag match, I recall it being a deal where the winner has to hoist his flag into a flag stand that's attached to the ring post. But apparently in this case it was just pinfall or submission. We did see Rusev attack Swagger from behind. Swagger ended up going for the Patriot Lock really early before the bell rang and really did a number on Rusev. Of course, Swagger was nursing the injured ribs there. I was really pleasantly surprised with this match, guys. I thought this was a lot of fantastic high-impact action from Rusev and Swagger. Zeb Coulter did an awesome job keeping the crowd in it. In the end, of course, Rusev locked in the Accolade. Of course, he was in severe pain putting that move on from the injured ankle. Jack Swagger never did tap out. However, he did not answer the referee, and the referee called for the match to be stopped. Therefore, the winner of the match, Rusev. RJ, what happened after the match?
I guess it looked like Swagger perhaps was passed out there, and we saw, of course, Zeb even get attacked here, so he was kind of passed out there. I was a little bit worried for Jack Swagger as we saw the rampage there from Rusev and Lana, of course, directing the way there. But the thing that needs to be pointed out here is Swagger did not actually tap out. He passed out. This probably is not the end of it, right, Retro Brett?
Well, I'm hoping not. This is a very interesting way for the match to end. It left a lot of stuff up in the air. There was no clear... Yes, technically Rusev won, but Jack Swagger never tapped out, never got pinned. He just passed out. So.
Yeah, Jack Swagger was able to maintain his pride and still fight and show that he didn't give up. Mm-hmm. So... And they still showed that Rusev is a beast, which he is. So.
Yes. I think we'll probably see this match up again in the near future, probably at the next pay-per-view.
Let's hope it's something better than a regular match. Maybe Hell in a Cell, maybe anything, just not a regular match.
Yeah. Whatever that was tonight, the flag match. Not a whole lot going on with the flag. We did have a great matchup coming up next, the Lumberjack match between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Man, this was amazing. This was one of the best matches of the night, which is sure saying a lot. As far as the Lumberjacks there on the side of the ring, let me see if I can actually name them all off. I know I saw the Usos, Sin Cara, R-Truth was there, Big E, RVD, the Wyatt followers made an appearance, Bo Dallas, Cesaro, Fandango, Titus, Goldust as well as Stardust, Damian Sandow. I think I got them all. Yeah, I know you said Rybaxel there. Corey, this was an epic match, man.
Yeah, man, these guys took it all over the arena. Initially, the Lumberjacks did keep them, of course, in the ring and kept it all on the inside, but eventually it spilled to the outside. The match continued into the crowd. At one point, Ambrose and Rollins were attacking each other on the outside, and all of the Lumberjacks came. Once Kane came down to the ring and insisted that they all do their job, they then carried everybody back to ringside, or rather, I guess the guys sort of dragged Ambrose back
toward the ring.
Rollins. Ambrose gets back first, jumps off the top rope to the floor onto all the Lumberjacks and Seth Rollins. Eventually, we saw Kane interfere, and Seth Rollins nails Dean Ambrose with the briefcase, gets the 3 count, picks up the victory. Guys, what do you think this means for this feud moving forward?
Man, I think that it's not going to be the end, that's for sure. This was a crazy matchup because the one thing that stood out to me was Dean Ambrose got the curb stomp off on Seth Rollins. He used Seth Rollins' finisher against him. Still couldn't take the victory. As Corey mentioned, another thing that really was amazing was when they were all the Lumberjacks, including Kofi Kingston, I don't know if I mentioned him, and Cesaro, were basically kind of crowd surfing-esque, bringing Seth Rollins back to the ring. Dean Ambrose waiting, jumped and took them all out at once like it was a strike in bowling. Awesome match. Matt, this was amazing.
It was amazing. I thought this was, like we were saying earlier, probably the most prominent Lumberjack match we've seen since maybe like the 90s. So, in essence here, we saw one of the greatest Lumberjack matches ever. That move by Dean Ambrose flying into all the Lumberjacks was sick.
Unbelievable.
It was so awesome.
Props to Damian Sandow, the only one actually dressed like a Lumberjack. What'd you think about the matchup, Retro?
Well, I feel that it's great to get the opponent's finisher on him. It's the ultimate form of insult. And I'm glad that Dean Ambrose was able to do it after he got that monster clothesline as well. That turned Seth Rollins inside out. Yeah, that was really, really cool and impressive. But, yes, technically, I think this is the first match in the rivalry, so we're looking forward to a couple more, actually.
Now, going to our WWE historian here, Corey, what'd you think about the actual finisher of one opponent being used on the other? I know it's not the first time, but this was a crazy time for it to be showcased.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a cool, big high spot for the match. I wasn't so happy to see the big impromptu brawl between Kane and all the Lumberjacks and Rollins and Ambrose. But, it did provide that reason for, as we touched on, for Rollins to get that tainted victory and to continue this feud on. It's certainly a hot feud, one of the biggest ones in the WWE right now.
Yeah, that's for sure. Bray Wyatt showed up in Los Angeles. It was a little bit different, of course, because his 2 followers are banned from the ringside, so instead of his usual, "We're here" intro, he said, "Los Angeles, I'm here." Came out with some new attire here, looking pretty interesting. Kind of looked like he had overalls or something going on. He faced off with Chris Jericho, which was a great matchup. We actually saw Bray Wyatt survive the walls of Jericho to pull off a victory in the end. Corey, I can imagine you thought this was an epic match.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I was looking forward to this going into it. I gotta say, it seems that Bray Wyatt's attire has been inspired perhaps by Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Retro Bread actually brought up a Hills Have Eyes
something to that effect. Yeah, the
reference
rock
as well.
The mutant,
some kind of crazy person
and
from
he's
the
doing
hills.
the Exorcist crab walk right there.
Yes, it all makes sense.
Yeah, guys. I mean, this was definitely a very methodical effort by the psychological terror Bray Wyatt. I mean, he was just absolutely relentless on Jericho. Jericho fought back quite a bit. At one point, went for the lion salt, and Wyatt does the spider walk, upside down gimmick. Really freaked Jericho out. Jericho did hit the code breaker. Wyatt nailed Jericho with a thumb to the throat after Jericho missed with a drop kick to the outside. Wyatt brings him in, hits the Sister Abigail, he hit the Sister Abigail on the barricade first, rolled him back in, gets hit with one more Sister Abigail for the 3 count. Bray Wyatt wins. These guys are 1-1 in big pay-per-view matches here these last 2 months. I fully expect to see maybe at Night of Champions some kind of big blow-off to this feud.
What'd you think about this one, Matt?
I thought this was a match that they really needed to let Bray win here, and, he won the match. fair and square and got the job done, so go Bray.
And I'm happy about that. I thought Bray Wyatt definitely deserved a big win. Chris Jericho's the man, to say the least here. He's proven a lot in his career. Bray Wyatt now has one of those victories that he can kind of tell everybody about and say, hey, I beat Chris Jericho at SummerSlam on an epic night.
A clean victory.
Now I can take out possibly anybody.
Yep. No interference, no underhanded tactics.
No followers.
But wasn't the thumb to the throat a move of one Umaga?
Ooh, good reference.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. We'll see what new moves Bray Wyatt, as well as his followers, bring out, because I have noticed they've brought out some old school moves here and there, specifically of some of the more underhanded wrestlers from back in the day. The next matchup, oh boy, Corey, Stephanie McMahon faced off with Brie Bella. She came out looking like a dominatrix, and we saw some crazy stuff go down, including a turn from out of nowhere, unless you watched our preview show where Corey predicted it correctly. C-Dub, what happened here in this matchup? What do you think about the events that transpired?
Yeah, we saw Stephanie come out looking like a cross between a Craigslist hooker dominatrix and like the Wicked Witch of the West. Mm-hmm. It was pretty slow back and forth action between the two, which I pretty much expected. Brie was really carrying a lot of it. At one point, as I called it, I've seen it from 100 miles away. Triple H comes out. Nikki Bella's not far behind him. Nikki enters the ring, and as Stephanie is trying to escape, Brie comes up from the other side. Stephanie is caught between both of the Bellas. Nikki pushes Stephanie out of the way just whenever Brie thinks she's going to hit Stephanie. Nails Brie, slaps her down to the mat. Stephanie turns the tables around as the crowd is shocked, unless, of course, they watched our Raw reactions last week, as Stephanie McMahon hits the pedigree for the 3 count. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about Nikki Bella's reasoning tomorrow on Raw.
Nikki's, now a heel, apparently. What the hell? Brie Bella just keeps getting worse. Now she loses, Retro Brett.
It keeps getting worse for her, but like we've seen, the Authority always wins. They have the power to influence anyone to turn. I think they offered Nikki something substantial to get her to turn on her sister. I don't think
perhaps money.
No, I don't think it's a mere fact that Nikki decided that she's been suffering for her allegiance to Brie. I think the Authority offered her something.
Yeah.
But yes, I thought Stephanie McMahon kind of looked like a dominatrix or Batgirl-ish.
Yeah, something like that. More like Catwoman.
I mean, the bottom line is Stephanie McMahon won the match, guys. Yeah. And you know what? I gotta say, I called this honestly as well, and I honestly don't understand the reasoning, though.
How'd you see it coming? Where'd you see it coming?
I felt it. Maybe it's because I did watch the Trippy Comms preview, and I got that idea from Corey, but I honestly felt that was going to happen, and it did, man. And also, I gotta say about this, Nikki did look a little distraught after she did it. It looked like she was going to cry or something after that. So.
That's crazy. We'll definitely see what becomes of this. Stephanie McMahon gets a victory. We'll see if she enters the ring again. Now, Roman Reigns took on Randy Orton. This was also a very impressive match. Randy Orton did a lot of awesome moves here. But Roman Reigns comes out on top. C-Dub, any quick thoughts on this match?
Yeah, man, we saw these two guys certainly in one of the most anticipated matches of SummerSlam this year go out there and they put it all on the line, left it all out there in the ring. We saw some pretty crazy reversals. Randy Orton hitting an RKO as Roman Reigns is going for the Superman punch, and Roman Reigns going for the spear, and Randy Orton hitting his power slam. Man, this was some fantastic action. I was very, very pleased. This was one of the better matches on the card. In the end, Roman Reigns counters the punt by Randy Orton, the attempt, and connects with the spear. 1, 2, 3, the winner. tonight, Roman Reigns.
Superplex off the top rope was sick.
Another impressive move by Randy Orton.
Wow, that was impressive.
Retrobird, I know you were hoping that the punt was going to make a return. It almost looked like it happened.
I almost hope it's going to make a return.
But it didn't, and Roman Reigns comes out on top. I'm really happy about that because Roman Reigns, they're going to have to build him up for him to take on the WWE Champion, and it's going to take more than beating Randy Orton. If he can't even beat Randy Orton, he's going to need to put some work in, but in this case, he does take out Orton, which means he might be an unstoppable monster himself. We'll see. Let's get to the next match, which is Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. Woo. Let's get to it in the next part, guys. This is too big to just throw in at the end of an episode, so we'll definitely see you guys there in part 2. Thank you for joining us, but the biggest match is yet to come. This one will go down in history. This is one of the best matchups I've ever seen, and it's not your average wrestling match at all. It was something completely unique. We'll break it down. We'll see you guys in part 2.